Most people believe success comes from doing more. They think the answer is working longer hours, saying yes to every opportunity, staying busy every second of the day, and filling their schedule until there is no room left to breathe. Society has trained people to believe that busyness equals progress. But the truth is, being busy and being productive are two completely different things. Activity does not always create achievement. Motion does not always create results. The people who create extraordinary success understand something that average people ignore. They know that not all effort produces equal rewards. In fact, a small percentage of actions create the majority of outcomes. This is the secret behind massive success, financial freedom, and extraordinary achievement. It is not about doing everything. It is about doing the right things. Look at the most successful people in any field. They do not waste their energy chasing every possibility. They are not scattered. They are focused. They know exactly where their highest value lies, and they direct their time, energy, and attention toward those areas with complete discipline. That is where their power comes from. Most people wake up and react to life. They answer random messages, check notifications, deal with small problems, and spend hours handling tasks that feel productive but change nothing. At the end of the day, they are exhausted, yet no closer to their dreams. They confuse movement with momentum, but successful people operate differently. They ask themselves one powerful question every day. What is the small number of actions that will create the biggest results? That question changes everything. It forces clarity. It forces focus. It eliminates waste. Imagine an archer aiming at a target. If they shoot arrows in every direction, they waste all their energy and hit nothing. But if they focus carefully, adjust their aim, and release with precision, one arrow can hit the center. Success works the same way. Scattered effort produces weak results. Focused effort creates breakthroughs. This is why the world's wealthiest individuals are obsessed with priorities. They understand that every yes to something unimportant is a no to something meaningful. Every hour wasted on low-value activity is an hour stolen from greatness. You must become ruthless with your focus. You must learn to NT thus FY what truly matters and let go of what does not. This is not easy because distractions are everywhere. The world constantly pulls your attention toward things that feel urgent but are ultimately meaningless. Social media notifications, endless meetings, unnecessary conversations, and tasks that keep you occupied without moving you forward. The difference between average people and extraordinary people is simple. Average people respond to what is loudest, while successful people focus on what matters most. If you want extraordinary results, stop asking how you can do more. Start asking how you can do less, but better. Find the few actions that create the greatest impact and pour yourself into them completely. This is how billionaires think. This is how empires are built. This is how impossible goals become reality. Your future does not depend on doing 100 different things halfway. It depends on doing a few essential things exceptionally well. The moment you stop chasing everything, you gain the power to achieve anything. That is the true force of focus. That is the secret of the 80% rule. And when you master it, your life will never be the same again. One of the big lies people believe is that success comes from adding more. More work, more commitments, more meetings, more goals, more information, more effort. People are constantly chasing the next thing, believing that piling more onto their lives will somehow bring them closer to greatness. But the truth is far more powerful. Success is often not about what you add. It is about what you remove. The most successful people in the world are not successful because they do everything. They are successful because they eliminate almost everything that does not matter. They understand that distractions are the silent killers of dreams. Every unnecessary activity steals energy. Every meaningless commitment drains focus. Every wasted hour pulls you further away from the life you want. Distractions rarely look dangerous at first. They often appear harmless. A few minutes scrolling through your phone becomes an hour gone forever. A pointless conversation becomes mental exhaustion. Saying yes to things you do not need to do slowly fills your life with obligations that have nothing to do with your purpose. Over time, these small distractions build walls between you and success. The danger is not always obvious because distractions feel productive. They keep you busy. They make you feel like you are doing something. But busyness is often just a form of avoidance. It creates the illusion of progress while keeping you stuck exactly where you are. Think about a sculptor creating a masterpiece. They do not build beauty by adding random pieces of stone. They create greatness by chiseling away everything that does not belong. Success works the same way. Your best life is already there, hidden beneath layers of distraction, wasted habits, and unnecessary noise. Your job is to remove what does not belong. This requires courage because elimination feels uncomfortable. It means saying no when people expect yes. It means walking away from habits that have become familiar. It means disconnecting from things that once entertained you but now limit your growth. It means protecting your time as if your future depends on it, because it does. The reality is simple. Every distraction has a cost. It may not demand payment immediately, but eventually it takes something from you. It takes your focus, your discipline, your momentum, your confidence, and your opportunity to become who you were aimed to be. Highly successful people are ruthless about this. They guard their attention with precision. They know their energy is their most valuable asset, and they refuse to waste it on things that produce no meaningful return. Look at your life honestly. Ask yourself, what is stealing your focus? What habits leave you empty instead of stronger? What activities consume your time without moving your life forward? What relationships drain your ambition instead of fueling it? Once you identify these distractions, eliminate them without mercy. Do not negotiate with them. Do not justify them. Remove them. When you clear away what does not matter, something extraordinary happens. Your mind becomes sharper. Your purpose becomes clearer. Your energy becomes stronger. You begin to focus deeply on the few things that truly matter, and that is where transformation begins. Greatness is not built through addition. It is revealed through subtraction. The less noise you allow into your life, the louder your purpose becomes. When you remove distractions, you make room for excellence. When you cut away what is meaningless, you create space for what is extraordinary. That is the hidden power of elimination. That is how the 80% rule transforms ordinary people into unstoppable forces of achievement. Success is rarely the result of one giant moment. It is not usually created by luck, sudden opportunity, or overnight transformation. The greatest achievements in life are almost always the result of small actions repeated consistently over time. This is the secret that most people overlook because they are too focused on immediate results. They want dramatic change overnight. They want success to appear instantly. But real success is built quietly, one habit at a time. Every great life is shaped by daily routines. What you do every single day determines who you become. Your habits are either building your future or destroying it. There is no middle ground. Every repeated action is a vote for the person you are becoming. The people who achieve extraordinary success understand this deeply. They do not depend on motivation alone because motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel inspired, and some days you do not. If your success depends on how you feel, you will never reach your full potential. Successful people rely on systems and habits, not emotions. They make progress automatic. Think of habits like compound interest. At first, the changes seem invisible. A single workout does not transform your body. Reading 10 pages of a book does not instantly make you wiser. Saving a small amount of money does not create wealth overnight. The progress feels small, almost insignificant. This is where most people quit. They cannot see immediate results, so they convince themselves it is not working. They abandon the process just before the breakthrough. But those who succeed understand that small, consistent actions grow in power over time. The results multiply beneath the surface until one day the progress becomes impossible to ignore. What looked like slow growth suddenly becomes massive transformation. This is how billionaires build wealth. This is how athletes become champions. This is how leaders rise to greatness. They commit to small disciplines repeated daily until those disciplines create extraordinary outcomes. The key is identifying which habits produce the greatest results. Not all habits are equal. Some actions create minor improvements, while others completely change the trajectory of your life. The 80% rule teaches that a few powerful habits create most of your success. Waking up early to focus on your goals before distractions appear. Reading every day to sharpen your mind. Exercising to build discipline and energy. Planning your day with intention. Learning valuable skills consistently. Protecting your focus from interruption. These are simple actions, but their long-term impact is enormous. The challenge is not understanding these habits. The challenge is repeating them when the excitement fades. Anyone can start strong. Very few people continue when progress feels slow and no one is watching. This is where character is built. Discipline is not about doing what feels easy. It is doing what matters even when it feels hard. It is choosing your future over your comfort. It is staying committed long after motivation disappears. Every day you follow through, you strengthen your identity. You prove to yourself that you are someone who finishes what you start. That confidence becomes fuel. It changes the way you see yourself. And once your identity changes, your life changes with it. You do not need to transform your entire life in one day. You only need to master a few high-impact habits and repeat them long enough for their power to compound. Small actions may look insignificant today, but they are shaping your destiny. Every choice matters. Every habit counts. Every disciplined action brings you closer to the person you were meant to become. This is how greatness is built, quietly, consistently, daily. And when those habits finally compound, the world will call it success, but you will know the truth. It was never luck. It was the result of mastering the right habits again and again, until excellence became your identity. Most people spend their entire lives thinking like workers. They wake up every day believing that success comes from trading more hours for more money. They believe the only path to financial growth is working harder, staying longer, and pushing themselves to exhaustion. They measure their worth by how busy they are and convince themselves that if they just keep grinding, one day they will finally break through. But this mindset creates limitation. It traps people in a cycle where their income is permanently tied to their time. No matter how hard they work, there are only so many hours in a day. When your success depends entirely on your personal effort, your growth will always have a ceiling. This is why truly successful people think differently. They think like owners. An owner understands something powerful. Wealth is not created by working more hours. It is created by building systems that produce value even when you are not actively working. Owners focus on leverage. They create processes, teams, assets, and strategies that multiply their effort far beyond what one person can accomplish alone. This is one of the biggest shifts you must make if you want extraordinary success. You must stop asking, "How can I work harder?" and start asking, "How can I create systems that work for me?" This shift changes everything. A worker solves immediate problems. An owner builds solutions that solve the problem repeatedly. A worker focuses on today's task list. An owner focuses on long-term impact. A worker thinks about earning money now. An owner thinks about creating assets that generate money for years. This does not mean workers are not valuable. Hard work matters. Discipline matters. Effort matters. But if all your energy is spent trading hours for income, you will always be running on a treadmill. You may move fast, but you are not truly advanced. Owners think beyond effort. They think about multiplication. Imagine planting a tree. A worker might focus only on picking fruit every day. An owner focuses on planting more trees. At first, planting requires patience and work with little visible reward. But over time, those trees grow and produce fruit continuously. Eventually, the owner has an orchard producing abundance while others are still chasing one piece of fruit at a time. That is how wealth works. Thinking like an owner means investing your energy into things that scale, learning valuable skills that increase your worth, building a business, creating systems, developing products, investing in knowledge and assets that continue to create value over time. It also means taking responsibility. Workers often wait for instructions, opportunities, or permission. Owners create opportunities. They do not wait for perfect conditions. They take initiative. They solve problems before being asked. They act with vision instead of reacting to circumstance. This mindset transforms how you approach life. You stop seeing obstacles as excuses and start seeing them as challenges to solve. You stop blaming external conditions and start building internal strength. You become proactive instead of reactive. This is how billionaires think. They do not simply work harder than everyone else. They think bigger. They build smarter. They create systems that multiply results while others remain trapped in limitation. You must train yourself to think this way. Ask yourself every day, am I just completing tasks, or am I creating something that will continue producing value tomorrow? Am I solving today's problem or building a system that eliminates future problems? The answers reveal whether you are thinking like a worker or an owner. Your future depends on this shift. The moment you stop trading all your energy for immediate rewards and start building leverage, your life begins to change. That is the true power of ownership. It is not just about money. It is about freedom, control, vision, and building something greater than yourself. When you master this mindset, you stop surviving and start creating a life of extraordinary possibility. One of the greatest enemies of success is the obsession with perfection. So many people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity. Unity, or the perfect version of themselves before they finally take action. They tell themselves they are preparing, improving, and getting ready. But often what they call preparation is actually fear wearing a disguise. Perfection feels safe because it gives us an excuse to delay. It convinces us that waiting is wise and caution is responsible. It whispers that if we just think a little longer, plan a little better, and prepare a little more, then success will arrive without risk or failure. But life does not work that way. The truth is, perfection does not create progress. Action creates progress. The most successful people in the world did not wait until everything was flawless before they began. They started before they felt fully ready. They moved forward while uncertain. They made mistakes, learned lessons, adjusted their strategy, and improved through action. This is the power of strategic imperfection. Strategic imperfection means understanding that your first attempt does not need to be perfect. It only needs to exist. It means recognizing that progress comes through motion, not endless preparation. It means accepting that mistakes are not signs of failure. They are evidence that you are learning, growing, and getting closer to mastery. Think about a sculptor shaping stone. The masterpiece is not created in one perfect strike. It emerges through repeated adjustments. Each cut reveals what works and what does not. Without those imperfect attempts, the final beauty would never appear. Success follows the same pattern. The people who wait for perfection never gain enough experience to improve. They stay trapped in theory. They imagine success, but they never build it. Meanwhile, those willing to act imperfectly gain momentum. They collect feedback. They adapt quickly. They improve with every step. This is why progress always defeats perfection. Perfection is static. It keeps you frozen in thought. Progress is dynamic. It moves you forward. The fear of imperfection often comes from worrying about judgment. People fear looking inexperienced. They fear criticism. They fear making visible mistakes. But the reality is this: every expert was once a beginner. Every master once struggled. Every billionaire, champion, and leader started imperfectly. No one begins extraordinary. Greatness is not born fully formed. It is developed through consistent, imperfect action over time. The world celebrates finished success but rarely sees the messy process behind it. Every achievement has a hidden story of failed attempts, wrong decisions, embarrassing lessons, and repeated corrections. That process is not weakness. It is how success is built. When you embrace strategic imperfection, something powerful happens. You become free. You stop fearing mistakes and start using them as tools. You stop waiting for confidence and start building confidence through action. Confidence does not come before action. It comes because of action. Every time you move forward despite uncertainty, you prove to yourself that you are capable. That proof becomes belief. That belief becomes strength. Ask yourself what you have been delaying because it is not perfect. What dream have you postponed because the conditions are not ideal? What opportunity have you avoided because you feared failing? Now imagine what could happen if you started today, imperfectly but decisively. Your first step may be clumsy. Your first result may be flawed. But every step will teach you something valuable, and every lesson will sharpen your path. Success does not belong to those who wait for perfection. It belongs to those who act, learn, adjust, and continue. That is the hidden secret behind every extraordinary achievement. Progress beats perfection every single time. And the moment you embrace that truth, your future begins to unfold in ways you never thought possible. The biggest mistake most people make is believing that all effort produces equal results. They think if they simply work harder, stay busier, and push themselves longer than everyone else, success will eventually arrive. They believe effort alone guarantees achievement. But the truth is far more strategic than that. Not every action creates the same reward. Not every hour carries equal value. Some efforts produce little to no progress, while others create results so powerful they change the course of your entire life. This is the final and most important lesson of the 80% rule. Invest your energy where results explode. The world's most successful people understand this deeply. They do not scatter their focus across endless tasks and random opportunities. They identify the few areas where their effort creates exponential returns, and they pour themselves into those areas with complete commitment. This is what separates average performance from extraordinary achievement. Average people spread themselves too thin. They chase too many goals, accept too many distractions, and divide their energy among things that produce very little return. They are constantly moving, constantly busy, constantly exhausted, yet their results remain small because their energy is diluted. Highly successful people think differently. They know that focus multiplies power. Imagine sunlight falling across a wide field. It provides warmth, but it changes very little. Now imagine that same sunlight concentrated through a magnifying glass. Suddenly it becomes powerful enough to start a fire. The energy did not increase. The focus did. Your effort works the same way. When your attention is scattered, your impact is weak. When your attention is concentrated on the highest value opportunities, your results become explosive. This requires discipline because not every opportunity deserves your energy. Some opportunities are distractions disguised as progress. They may seem exciting, urgent, or profitable in the short term, but if they do not align with your long-term vision, they drain more than they give. Successful people are selective. They constantly ask themselves one question: where will my effort create the greatest return? That question changes everything. It forces you to evaluate your actions honestly. It pushes you to stop wasting energy on tasks that feel productive but deliver little value. It teaches you to focus only on activities that create momentum, growth, and lasting impact. For some people, this might mean mastering one skill instead of learning 10 at once. For others, it means building one business deeply instead of chasing multiple weak ideas. It could mean investing in relationships that elevate your thinking while releasing those that limit your growth. The principle is always the same. Identify what creates the greatest return and double down relentlessly. This is exactly how billionaires think. They do not waste time managing every small detail. They focus on the few decisions that create the largest outcomes. They understand leverage. They know that one smart investment, one powerful connection, one bold decision, or one innovative system can create more results than years of scattered effort. You must train yourself to think his way. Stop asking how you can do more. Start asking what matters most. Stop measuring success by how tired you feel at the end of the day. Measure it by the impact of what you accomplished. Stop chasing every opportunity that appears. Commit to the few that truly align with your purpose and potential. The truth is, your energy is your most valuable asset. Once wasted, it can never be recovered. Every day you spend focused on low-return activities is a day stolen from your future success. But when you direct your energy toward what matters most, everything changes. Progress accelerates. Confidence grows. Momentum builds. Results begin to multiply beyond what seemed possible. This is where breakthroughs happen. This is where ordinary effort becomes extraordinary achievement. The 80% rule is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters so deeply and so consistently that success becomes inevitable. When you master this principle, your effort stops being ordinary work and becomes unstoppable force. And that is how results truly explode.